Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to be with us this evening, and welcome to the first ever virtual meeting of the American Legion Department of Indiana Headquarters Post. I'm the Department of Indiana Commander Larry Laurie, and tonight we want to give you a brief overview of our organization's programs and services and give you an idea of where you fit in to help change the lives of veterans and their families in your community. Before we begin, we have a few traditional protocols we would like to perform prior to beginning. At any time, if you have a question, please feel free to type it in to the chat box to the right, and we will address as many questions as we can at the end of the meeting. First off, we would like to render a hand salute to our nation's color. Hand salute, 2. Next, we'd like to remove our covers and have a moment of silence for our U.S. members who have yet to come home or be accounted for from all wars and conflicts. The POW MIA chair also reminds us that to be lost or held in the hands of the enemy remains a very real possibility for men and women who are fighting in current contingency operations. Now please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in reciting the preamble to the Constitution of the American Legion. For God and country, we associate ourselves together for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanisms, to preserve the memories and incidents of our association in the Great Wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to consecrate and sanctify our comradeship by devotion to mutual helpfulness. Thank you for staying tuned during our traditional and important protocol procedures. The preamble, as we just recited, holds a lot of information about what we do, but to sum it up, our work mission supports veterans, their families, and the communities. We do this in many ways. First, we ensure veterans to get treatment and care that they have earned through their service to the nation. The American Legion Department of Indiana has a full-time service officer staff located at the Indianapolis Regional VA office in downtown Indianapolis. The staff assists thousands of veterans in applying for and obtaining benefits for their service-connected disabilities every year. These disability benefits not only help the veterans, but in turn, they help the family and community financially. Every year, disabled Hoosier veterans bring in more than $1.23 billion into the state economy through compensation and pension benefits. Most of that money gets spent in the veterans' local community and on things that veterans and their families need. Some examples of the things we file claims for OIF/OEF veterans is dealing with the burn pits, the Gulf War illnesses, radiation exposure. We have tainted water at Camp Lejeune, Vietnam veterans and Agent Orange exposure. And back in 2011, they added 3 more diseases to the Agent Orange exposure: coronary artery disease, Parkinson's, and hairy cell leukemia. These are all benefits available to the Vietnam veterans. We also advocate ourselves on behalf of the veterans at the Indiana State House for state veterans benefits. This last legislative session, while working with other veteran service organizations, we were able to negotiate better and expanded benefits offered by the state of Indiana. We completed 6 of our 2016 state legislative priority tasks in 5 bills. Nationally, our department visits and speaks with Hoosier legislatures in Washington, D.C. In February, we visited our U.S. senators, representatives, and their staffs from Indiana to talk about veterans issues on the federal level. These face-to-face interactions are important and fully relay the importance of urgency of the message that an email or phone call alone cannot replicate. There is still much work to do, but together we can continue to make a difference on behalf of Hoosier veterans, their families, and their communities. Legionnaire dues contribute to more than just a name. It's a lifestyle and continued national, state, and local community service. It's ensuring our next generation knows our nation's history and flag etiquette. It's creating an atmosphere of camaraderie between veterans and their families. It's growing young men and women into our future leaders and recognizing them as the achievements. It is a chance to continue serving our community, state, and nation and positively impact those who associate ourselves together with our organization. The American Legion isn't just a bar or club in your community, it's a hub, meeting place, coordination center for veterans and their families who want to contribute to the betterment of our nation through continued volunteer service. And here to explain in detail about our programs is the Department Program Coordinator and past National Commander, Butch Miller. Butch?
Thank you, Commander. And again, I'd like to thank, as well as the Commander, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I won't take an awful lot of time talking about programs, but I would like to talk on a few. I'm sure all of you know about baseball. Everybody knows about American Legion Baseball. But it wasn't our first program. Actually, the first program that the American Legion adopted was Boy Scouts. Back in the day when the American Legion did so, it did so in retaliation or in response to the Hitler Youth movement that was going on at the time. Boy Scout is still a program in the American Legion. It's still a strong program, but we have some others that you might be interested in as well. We have a shooting program. I know that probably doesn't come as a surprise since we're a veterans organization, but this shooting sports program, rather than take you to the battlefield, will take you to the Olympics. Young girls and guys get into the shooting sports program and progress up to the different levels, and they can end up in Colorado actually practicing at the facility out there for the American Olympic team. And there's some benefits, financial benefits that go along with that as well for scholarships and whatnot. We have the Boys State program, which I'm sure many of you know about. Through our Boys State program and Girls State program, for that matter, young men and women can participate in a program that truly, it's a week long and truly changes their lives. But it can also open the doors to many colleges and a great education. Along with that, we also have some other benefit programs on a slightly different situation. We have our temporary financial assistance programs, which is a national program that provides assistance to veterans and their children when they're in need for things like heating, air conditioning, heating, electricity, water, rent, mortgage, things like that. We also have a program here in Indiana that I'm very proud of called the Children's Education Welfare Program. Through that program, the local post or district can provide assistance, not quite to the level of TFA, but they can provide assistance in a little bit more immediate manner. The front door to those programs is through our local posts and districts. But those are the highlights of our programs. I'd like to direct your attention to our website at www.indianalegion.org. There's a lot more information there. Our phone number is there, so if you have any interest in those programs or you want to talk about them, please give us a call. Go to the website and check it out and give us a call. It's been nice spending some time with you. I hope to see you in some future meetings. Morale is high.
Hello, my name is Ron Hoax. I am one of the 11 district commanders in the state of Indiana. District commander basically oversees the post in his or her respective areas. In my area, I have 48. I was a United States Marine in 92 to 96. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I was part of the 2nd Marine Division, where out of I was deployed twice with the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit. And I am currently a 23-year member of the American Legion. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather was a Korean War vet. 4 years in country, 1 year as a POW. He was shot twice. He was stabbed through the chest with a bayonet and got blown up. So severely that they were still picking shrapnel out of his back when he was in his 70s. My grandfather came back broken. Alcoholism, flashbacks, nightmares, just several of the things that he was affected by. But it wasn't until he went down, joined his local post, that some veterans told him about the VA clinic and how they could go and get some help. And to make a long story short on that, through some counseling, some medication, and a well-deserved disability compensation, the VA greatly improved my grandparents' quality of life. And it doesn't take much research to understand that that VA clinic would have not been there if it wasn't for the hard work of the American Legion. Now, personally, I don't use the VA, but I know it's there if I need to. But I will tell you something I used that the American Legion lobbied for and got us veterans, and that's the GI Bill. I got out of the Corps in '96, had a young family, looking for a job just like a lot of us. I was able to get into an accredited apprenticeship program, and because of my GI Bill compensation, I was able to still provide for my family for the 4 years that apprenticeship took me to complete. And I'm greatly appreciated for that. Bruce hit earlier on some of our programs. As a district commander, I was personally able to help assist families' financial need with the TFA program, the Temporary Financial Assistance Program, and the Child Education and Welfare Program. These are two fantastic programs that the American Legion sponsors. And other programs. You want to talk about the youth programs. It's inspiring and encouraging to see the youth better their education through our programs, such as the oratorical, Boys State, Boy Scouts, flag education, just for a few examples. It's great to watch these young people work hard to get scholarship money to further their education. But it's not just the scholarship money that these programs provide. These programs truly change these young people's lives. Now, I'm encouraged what the American Legion has done in the past, and I'm inspired what we do today. But I'm very excited for what we have in the future. I'll give you a couple examples of that. I'm a chairman on the employment committee, and we're working hard. If we're able to assist a vet to find employment, I believe, and I'm confident, that they will be dedicated to our purpose. Another one is Veterans Court. Veterans Court program is basically this. In the civilian world, you get in trouble. You go to court, you get sentenced. If a Veterans Court is available to you in your county, you can elect to go through their program. Veterans Court doesn't throw you in jail. Veterans Court helps you. It gives you counseling. It gives you training. It gives you rehab if you need to go there. So if you can successfully complete the Veterans Court program and you go back to the real court, a lot of times these judges are knocking down the sentences dramatically and sometimes even throwing them out. But there's only 19 Veterans Courts in the state of Indiana. We have 92 counties in the state of Indiana. We got to start working hard. We got to start working hard on a few things. We need to start working hard on how we handle homeless vets. But more importantly tonight, I'm here to encourage you to get